Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Thank you for tuning in. Now, before we begin, just a reminder, none of this is legal, tax and or financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. So first up, could Bitcoin drop back down to $4,000? Well, according to one popular trader, he believes they could. So let's have a look. Tone Vays, a former Wall Street trader and vice president at JP Chase, says he's not at all convinced Bitcoin is in a bull market. Vays told Blocks Live TV that Bitcoin's run-up has happened too fast and Bitcoin still needs to suffer a significant reversal and could dive down to $4,000 before a sustainable bull run can begin. And here's a quote from Mr. Vays. Normally, going from 3,000 to 14,000 would make anybody bullish, but because we went straight up in almost an exponential way with this blow off top at $14,000, I think that puts Bitcoin into more danger. People don't realize how dangerous it is for an asset, any asset, to go up exponentially because they tend to crash back down. We saw this with gold and silver in 2011. We saw it with oil before that in 2008. We saw it with NASDAQ in 2000, and Bitcoin has done this several times. Anyway, he continues. I'll end the quote there. Well, I should say the rest of the article there speaks about, or it talks about Ethereum, EOS, Tron, and Steam. Some of their thoughts or the analyses about that. Back to the main story there. To compare what happened in the past to now, it's you're not painting the full picture. Let's put it that way. The infrastructure and the technology with Bitcoin has improved substantially over time. What happened in 2017 is not always the best reflection of what could happen now. Let's have a look at some of the prices. But there has been further pullback overall. Bitcoin has still kept above 11,000 despite that drawback from the 2019 high there. The price has dropped considerably in a week. A pullback was necessary. However, I still believe, well, let's have a look over the past 3 to 6 months. Yes, the price has risen considerably in a short period of time. I highly doubt people would allow the price to drop down that low once again, say to $4,000. I don't even think it would go down past $8,000 again because there would be so much demand for it, and as time has progressed, it's becoming more mainstream, more institutional investors showing a keen interest in purchasing Bitcoin and allowing the trading. We're still waiting for an official announcement from the SEC about an ETF. Why they can't make up their mind, I have no idea. This is just being painstakingly slow, but we will get there eventually. So anyway, I disagree with Tone Vays there. He's entitled to his opinion. The thing is, no one knows. If anyone turns around and says, oh, this will happen, they think they can accurately predict what will happen. No one knows. When you look at my price prediction videos, you always need to err on the side of caution. What I mention, it's all hypothetical. It's something that's plausible. It could happen, but nothing is certain. Okay, this is the highly volatile nature of crypto. To counter Tone Vays, Mike Novogratz, who's made a vast fortune off Bitcoin, and he's still very bullish about it, gives his thoughts about why he regrets not selling Bitcoin at its 2019 high. So it says here, on the 27th of June, billionaire investor and Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz said in an interview with CNBC that he wished he had sold more when the Bitcoin price achieved 13,800. Chart there. Novogratz clarifies, still bullish on Bitcoin. He explains that reports about him hoping to have sold more when Bitcoin spiked to its yearly high were taken out of context. Surprise, surprise. On CNBC, Novogratz said that he wished he had sold more of his Bitcoin holdings before the asset dropped 30% overnight, but emphasized, and pay attention to this, that on a macro scale, he remains optimistic on the medium to long-term trend of the dominant crypto asset. And I do quote, I have to say taken out of context some, or I wasn't clear enough. Of course you would rather have sold something if you could buy it down 30% the next day. I do think we consolidate 10 to 14k before next move higher. I'm still very bullish BTC, end quote, said Novogratz. Scott Melker, a trader at Texas West Capital, said, and I do quote again, we are in a bull market. In bull markets, you buy the dips. Did you buy the dip? I did at 10,488. End quote. Bitcoin is already up more than 200%, even with the 18% drop from 13,800. The valuation of the crypto market has increased by nearly $100 billion in the past month due to the recovery of Bitcoin. Analysts foresee the introduction of new trading venues, an increase in volume, and the rise in inflow of capital from institutions as key catalysts of the assets. and I'll let you read the rest of the article there. I just want to remind people as well that the infrastructure has improved when the Lightning Network has been implemented, and then if we can go to proof of stake with Bitcoin, that will also make a huge difference as well. These things take time. Remember, I always like to give people a bit of perspective. Remember when the internet started off and it was painstakingly slow, how much faster it is now. You consider all of this happened over the space of about 15 to 20 years. Bitcoin has been around for 10 years now, so who's to say that in another 5 or 10 years it won't be incredible? Don't underestimate technology. That's the point of what I'm trying to say. What are your thoughts on this? I look forward to your feedback about that. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Someone in the comments section pointed out that Ethereum 2.0 will be unveiling its blueprint, something along those lines, in the coming days. I couldn't find that much specific information about this in terms of any announcements coming up for something over the next few days. The only thing I did find, and this is through Google News, but bear in mind that they've aggregated the headlines from various websites or in the crypto space. So the information I got here was that Ethereum 2.0's Phase 0 scheduled to launch on the 3rd of January 2020. And this is the common theme throughout various articles listed here. So again, if there is information that I've missed, something that I should point out, like if you can give me a clear link to one of these websites, ideally something reputable. You've noticed that there is a common theme in terms of where I source my information. So yeah, feel free to share that. Okay, moving along. ChainLink is in the news, and to be fair, I have never spoken about them before, so this is a first for me. Thank you to John from the USA, who has been one of my loyal listeners and has pointed this out, so this is a shout out to you, mate. ChainLink to be discussed, as I promised. ChainLink, a blockchain platform aiming to connect smart contracts to external data sources, is on a tear following listings on Coinbase Pro and Coinbase. The altcoin surged 117.2%, $2.03 to $4.41. Over the 3 days the listings were announced. The Coinbase effect, where a cryptocurrency's price surges after its listing is announced on Coinbase, is alive and well for ChainLink. Here is the candlestick graph of ChainLink and how it jumped, especially following Coinbase Pro and the Coinbase listings there, especially with the latter. Since the phenomenon was first observed, some sources reported that the Coinbase effect was diminishing. The diminishing impact on price could be attributed to Coinbase's looser standards for adding digital assets or greater access to reliable exchanges. And then it goes down talking about some altcoins there. Further information about the prices, I'll let you read through that. Actually, I do want to point out, this, and I'm glad Crypto Slate, so who's produced this piece, has spoken about this too. It's XRP. So back at the end of February, after so much hype, the quick side story here, it was over a year of anticipation of all this hype about Coinbase listing it. And that never happened until 28th of February 2019. And as it says here, the price only rose 0.22%, which is peanuts compared to the huge gains that we got with ChainLink. That was very odd, although it says here, according to this article, that there was evidence that insider trading and potential leak of the announcement diminished the price impact of the listing. Crypto Slate will explore the Coinbase effect in greater depth in an upcoming Crypto Slate research article. Keep your eyes peeled for that. ChainLink. Now, just want to point out here on the Twitter page, and a quick side note, there's no blue tick which indicates it's a verified or an official profile. Nevertheless, no announcement of the Coinbase listing there. In fact, let me just check as well. If I type in Coinbase, nothing at all. Nevertheless, they are they're fairly active with keeping people in the loop about what's happening in the space. So they post on an ongoing basis about various collaborations and speaking of different node operators, discussing smart contracts and tokenization and oracles and how that ties in with smart contracts and all there on their official page. A list of the team and the advisors. If we go into Live Coin Watch and the prices here, ChainLink has propelled itself a big drop in the past 24 hours. However, observe what has happened over the past 7 days. Well, as you can see, astronomical increases there. 107% up versus fiat in the past week. And then over the past month, nearly 300% increase compared to fiat and 190% increase compared to Bitcoin. So it's on fire. Is this going to be sustained? Now, time will tell whether this holds its value. What is the medium to long-term outlook of this? This is how I analyze it all. And I just want to mention too that I'm very picky about the coins that I discuss. I tend to focus on what's in the top 20, or let's say the top 30. I've got a few favorites that are the outliers, so to speak. ChainLink has just come out of nowhere, so I will keep an eye out on this, but I'm still skeptical about how well this will do in the long term. For those holding it, well done if you made a profit. My personal opinion, again, not financial advice, always need to make that clear. I would take a bit of profit along the way. We don't know what on earth this price is going to do. So yeah, keep an eye out on that. All right, next up, Binance's CZ or Changpeng Zhao in the news as well. Singaporean cryptocurrency exchange BitTrue, after being targeted by a hack that led to 9.3 million XRP and 2.5 million ADA or Cardano being stolen from the exchange's hot wallet, was back online within 24 hours. It even announced the compensation of stolen digital assets to all of its affected customers. What was communicated as a system overload, in air quotes, requiring temporary maintenance for about 15 to 18 hours, turned out to be a nightmare for BitTrue. In an official statement released by BitTrue, the exchange stated that, and I do quote, a hacker exploited a vulnerability in the risk controls team's second review process, quote there, which led to the hackers accessing the personal funds of about 90 users at nearly 1 a.m. on the 27th of June, so a few days back. Going down to CZ, in the wake of the hack that targeted BitTrue, Binance's CEO Changpeng Zhao, a.k.a. CZ, announced the development of an anti-fraud system, in air quotes, which will be available for all soon. He further tweeted, and there's a screenshot of the tweet there, Binance will actively block any stolen funds coming our way. The key is fast reporting from the victim and real-time blocking from the exchanges. To this end, we developed an anti-fraud system just for this. We will make it available to all real soon, free of charge. A bit more from CZ there. I want to point out on a side note, in case you're wondering what on earth SAFU is, here is an explanation about SAFU and the origin of the term. In case you see funds are SAFU, you'll understand what on earth all this means. And that's the article there about that. Good to see that Changpeng Zhao is trying to be proactive about stop any further hacks. I mean, yes, there was the big hack that happened 2 months back. It was, in early May from memory, with, I think it was $40 million worth of Bitcoin stolen. So, I mean, ultimately, at least the funds or those who have money stored on the exchange were protected because of the SAFU there. They have to be proactive. All crypto exchanges and everyone who holds crypto, regardless of your amount, you need to be very cautious. If you do have money on an account, on an exchange, ideally it should be a small amount. Make sure your credentials are safe, and if you've got it offline, in an offline wallet, make sure you have everything, all of the checks and balances in place to ensure that nothing happens. Just my advice. On a side note, I found this interesting piece about permissionless and permission networks. This ties in with a lot of the discussion that's been occurring recently about, say, Facebook Libra and how people need permission to run the nodes and then the costs involved with that. I thought I'd just point these out. For you, just for a bit of for further reading, useful information there. And just before we go, let's have a look at the market overview. The crypto market overall still doing well, holding above $300 billion US for the general market there. And some fascinating data here. Bitcoin, where its dominance is at its highest since the time of that huge bull run that we had towards the end of 2017 and early 2018. We'll see how this all pans out. I have a sneaky suspicion that the altcoins, Bitcoin will still hold fairly high dominance, say between 55 and 60%, but I think there'll be a late surge from the altcoins, or late, relatively speaking. Some of the alts to really pick up, especially those between 2 and 10. I do believe we're in a bull market, despite the words of Tone Vase. It will be interesting to see what happens. And let's finish up with a quick overview of the prices, just a reminder. So they've gone down, but Bitcoin is still held above 11,000. Just Ethereum has actually dropped below 300. So yeah, the prices here. Litecoin, I think let's the drop. A drop has cancelled out the major increase that I saw. In fact, I think it was up 13% this morning when I first looked at it, and then that has quickly, well, the gains have dissipated there. Red throughout the rest of the market. You have to look at some perspective that the market overall is still looking fairly positive. The only major winner there, ChainLink, it's down at the moment, 7%, but as you saw earlier, it is really still pumping. And before I forget, there's this article here about 15,000% gains, the 5 best and worst crypto performers of 2019. I didn't speak about this earlier because I don't really like speaking about hype coins, to be fair. So that's the information there for you to read in your own time. That's a wrap. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts about this information? If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have something to share, by all means, feel free to leave a comment or just say g'day, whatever you fancy. If you like my content, subscribe and don't forget to smash the bell icon to stay up to date with my latest videos, and share this with anyone who you believe will enjoy it. That's a wrap. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon or evening, and I will speak to you soon. Alrighty, see you later.